Welcome back to Kayfabe and Cardboard, where storylines meet scarcity. Today we are tackling a big question that has been popping up recently in the build to WrestleMania 42, and that is: are celebrities actually good for WWE, or do they hurt the product? How's your day going on this Sunday, April 5th?
It's
Adam?
going well. I'm excited to hear about this because I think this is a theme that has people don't realize has WWE or WWF at the time have always used celebrities, but I think it's just now with social media it's becoming much more of a crutch than I think it was as a crossover in the past. But we can get more into that in a little bit.
Yeah, I think one of the main differences, we'll talk more later, of course, but it's the variety of which program they're getting. I think people are more upset that in the main event program, the build is just getting all celebrity versus like a mid card program, and that's the difference. But we'll talk about that again later. So first, I think you want to lead this segment and a
Yeah,
recent celebrity involvement.
yeah. I want to hear. I mean, obviously, there's been a lot going on the last couple of weeks since we last recorded a podcast. Why don't you give me some feedback on the road to WrestleMania, your thoughts on what they're doing scripting wise, and then obviously weaving in a lot of those celebrities between Jelly Roll and McAfee and everybody else that they're trying to weave into the programming.
Yeah, I think overall, if you just look at straight at the WrestleMania card, it's one of the best WrestleMania cards we've had in a while. I mean, there's just a bit of everything. I mean, there's a lot of women's matches. There's a ladder match for the Intercontinental title, an unsanctioned match. Two really good main events that people have been wanting for and waiting for a while. So if you just look at the card, I mean, Obafemi, Brock Lesnar, the card overall, it would be one of the best WrestleManias, if not the best WrestleMania of all time, just based off of the card. But WWE hasn't really capitalized, besides, I would say, the Brock Lesnar Obafemi feud, like, generating the hype. I think I'll start with Roman Reigns CM Punk. The first two promo battles that they had like was really generating hype. People were super excited, and then just these back and forth when they brought in the Usos and they made it more about old man, like just going a different direction with the feud. I think it hasn't really worked to what WWE was looking for and going for with their actual feuds. I think that's been one of the overall lacking points in the build up to the road to WrestleMania. I think that just, and then again, we'll start talking about Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, which was a feud that really should have been about student teacher feud, mentor feud, and they started off with that, and then you add in Jelly Roll, and then you add in Pat McAfee and change the feud to about uh, that Cody Rhodes isn't the guy that they fit as a pro wrestler. Like, I think McAfee was saying that he remembers all these like 6'5" massive dudes with muscles. That's what he remembers wrestling being, not these 5'5" guys doing Iron Man matches. It's about the story versus the caliber of matches, and they just changed the story, which I think a lot of people are upset at. Because they really had a layup. They didn't need to do much in the Cody Randy feud, but they've overall generated less hype, I think, and I think it's all a move coming from TKO to just get more ticket sales because the prices, they need to make money, and overall they're trying to run a business while WWE is trying to generate hype for it, and you have to find that blending point that they haven't done a good job at, in my opinion.
So I know you're a Jelly Roll fan in general, and then obviously he's done a really nice job, in my opinion, trying to get into wrestling. And obviously Pat McAfee had matches and the same, but like, what's your thought on like just in general some of these shoehorn celebrities taking away full time wrestler spots in a WrestleMania card versus a other non like biggest events of the year.
Yeah, I mean, your celebrities, what they're meant to do is overall, in my opinion, Jelly Roll's done the best job of this. Overall, enhance the show by allowing them to showcase others in the mid card. if they do it the tag match that I think they would probably end up doing, which is Danhausen and Jelly Roll versus Miz and Kit Wilson, that's getting three mid carders who, without Jelly Roll, wouldn't be able to get on the WrestleMania card. But now that Jelly Roll's there, they have a chance to get on the WrestleMania card, and I think that's helping overall build the mid card. What I don't like, and what I think that a lot of people would agree with me, is that the Pat McAfee insertion into the main event program, where he's probably going to come and appear at WrestleMania, to like what Travis Scott did last year. You don't need a celebrity to come and interfere in the main event to make it that big of an appeal. I think the match last year we were there, I think it was completely ruined by the Travis Scott interference. And I think this year, if it's only Pat McAfee coming to interfere, I don't think that it's enhancing the show. I think it's honestly taking away a spot from someone like a Ted DiBiase Jr. or a Bob Orton, where it would have made sense in the story. But now they completely switched the story, and I don't think it worked at all.
So, do you think, you mentioned before TKO and then Emmanuel, and I have my opinion before I give mine. What's your opinion why the McAfee thing was, which everybody agrees is probably a pivot to sell more tickets? Do you think there's more to it, or do you think it's just, hey, that was the easiest way to pivot?
I'm glad you bring this up, and I haven't heard a whole lot of people talking about this, but I honestly think that when people look back at it, uh, it's just a big ploy. I think that McAfee isn't the head guy in this scenario, and I think that honestly, I see the plant seedings for a Dwayne the Rock Johnson appearance at WrestleMania. So I think McAfee is like the first guy to come in here, and it's to distract everybody from when The Rock is actually the one behind everything, and they make a new TKO faction, and that leads to the big Rock Cody payoff. And then once the beatdown starts, Roman comes to save Cody, and then we could have tag matches, and then we could eventually at WrestleMania 43 do Rock and Roman Reigns. So that's my only way they could get out of this without making it into a good situation. But if they don't do that, it would be a pretty rough deal.
Yeah, I think that's one I've said from day one that I think Rock's in here because of Saudi the next year is Rock Roman some way, and I think it's going to be WrestleMania. Obviously, in my opinion, I think it's coming from the business side of it. It's ESPN. It's a connection to ESPN. It's now going to be talked about a lot more. It's going to be the crossover. It's the reason why, for just promoting WWE, promoting the product, it's a natural fit because of McAfee and just his platform. I do think there's some kind of swerve or some kind of pivot of The Rock is one of them. The other one is Vince McMahon, the McMahon piece to it. Like I mean people have been whispering about that, but like that's a whole nother episode most likely. But I do think there could be something without getting down in a rabbit hole of like all the other things going on off screen. But like they've been kind of easing the way for McMahon. They brought Brock Lesnar back, which they weren't going to do a year or two ago with all the things nonsense going on. I think that's a soft test to see what, with all the BS that was going on, how the fans were going to react to it, and they reacted to it like everybody's got a short memory on anything. And I think the Vince McMahon thing is to me that's the shoe that like all this is kids play, and then all of a sudden a Vince McMahon or a whole McMahon, Shane, Vince, whatever, Stephanie becomes like a thing. That's going to turn this thing 180 potentially. That's one of my thoughts. So all right, let me ask you a couple other quick things. What do you think in regards to just the cards aspect for a second of it? You got I Show Speed running around. We haven't talked about it a little bit. He had his first super fractor with the Braun Breaker thing, or foil fractor 101. We were the underbidder on that, and we went up to, I don't know what, 70. I don't remember what it went for, but like, and I know the gentleman who bought it obviously feels it's a $15,000, $20,000, $50,000 card, which it could be. You never know, but like, I don't think yet, but I think it could get there. What do you see the celebrity cards Jelly Roll this. Are they going to only be at Tops now? Do you think Jelly Roll could have a patch, WrestleMania patch now? That's going to go into another royalty or Chrome or something. Do you see that being a thing, or like how do you see it affect cards at all?
Um, I'm a bit hesitant right now just because if Logan Paul, who's was a celebrity, came to the business and is now a full-time wrestler, if he hasn't been put into a single set, I honestly don't see any of these celebrities being in a set besides Tops now. I mean, I think Logan Paul was, uh, what was it? I think he was supposed to be in Finest and it just didn't work out. I think they just haven't tried to put him in another set since. I mean, if he's
Didn't he have a WrestleMania from last year patch?
I don't think they're going to put into I haven't seen the checklist, but I'm not sure if they're putting it into royalty yet.
But wouldn't that be like his first big non-Tops now card?
Yeah, but if he's been doing it for 4 years, wouldn't it have made sense for him to be in a set by
Yeah,
now?
for sure. I don't know what the thought is behind it or whatever. If they're trying to like be scarce about it, maybe they're not. Maybe they just haven't done. I don't know the answer to that, but I feel like there could be the demand for like a couple special high end cards that they're trying to do it with, versus again use Rob Gronkowski, Mike Tyson or something, and those guys in the most universe. It was cool that they were in there, but they were just base cards and they were kind of mixed in with you know boxers and wrestlers and football players, and like it just didn't have the same pop because I don't think they made a big deal about it. If it was like an inscription Gronkowski auto, I think that could have been a huge deal, but it was just a base card. Cool ones. I don't get me wrong, but like not a featured something special.
Yeah. How about we go on to what people are saying short term versus the long term value of having celebrities in matches. Do you think that it's better that the celebrities bring attention now, boost ticket sales, or do? But the question is, do they help boost and build future stars, or are they taking away spots from them?
Again, I think it's how it's used. We talked about this off camera, but like being a little older, I mean, you had Cyndi Lauper, and who was you don't even know who she is probably, but she
I
was
know.
a musician, vintage. No, I'm just kidding. But like a musician that was a big rock and wrestling crossover, and that was a big, big thing back with WWF. And then I joked around and I grabbed the card because I think it was cool. But like, this is a Donald Trump. I call it his Donald Trump rookie card, which is hard to see, but it's literally he's in the front row of WrestleMania. And this is WrestleMania 1990 Classic WWE Series 2, History of WrestleMania. He's sitting, if you really look there, he's sitting right in the front row right here. And he's got a few different cards that he's featured on in the front row. But he was a ring announcer, he was involved in it, but he wasn't taking away matches. Mike Tyson was a referee, wasn't, Mr. T was probably one of the first ones, did a boxing match and stuff like that, and then did some wrestling, but like it was far and few between, and there were more at that time being I would joke around like a circus or part of it, not like an actual taking a spot as a wrestler for the most part. They were more announcing, manager, interfering a little bit, but not just actually being in the ring and being a full part of the match. So like obviously Logan Paul's a freak in a good way athletically, and like he actually wants to be a part of it. That's totally different. But like having Rob Gronkowski or something in there, I'm just that's one thing for a tiny spot, okay. But like making these guys like actually, the McAfee versus Gunther thing and some other things. Those are like, in my opinion, a little overdone. Versus just you can still draw attention short term and get a little pop and get some cool moments. The I Show Speed thing was a perfect example when he got speared. That was a really cool. He got in there, he got cracked, and then he's out, and that was like a cool card, a cool moment. It was all over the news. He had millions of followers. It did everything it would want it to be done, and it wasn't like the Travis Scott where it was maybe a little overdone, and a little bit. I see why they're doing it, but I think you could cycle in different influencers, Mr. Beast or whoever else you want to do that has the crossover effect, celebrity, whatever. We talk about Tom Brady or something like that without overdoing it, in my opinion. What do you
Yeah,
think?
uh, I completely agree with what you're saying. I think that what iShowSpeed's been doing is just absolutely outstanding. I mean, the whole Danhausen thing, how
Yeah.
quickly he's gotten over since the last time we talked about him. He was absolutely hated at his Elimination Chamber debut, and now he's like the most over thing in the entirety of WWE. And now people who don't watch WWE just see, oh, why is iShowSpeed's stream just crashing and not working? Oh, it's because Danhausen cursed him. I might need to see what this is all about and tune into the next episode of Raw. That's what it's doing well. Oh, he punches LA Knight, and then LA Knight comes onto the stream. You might not have watched him punch LA Knight, but LA Knight just throw him into the screen and be like, oh, who the hell's this guy? And now you're watching WrestleMania to see the payoff match. So I think what he's doing specifically is not overdoing it. And I think he's going to the Performance Center. He made that video with Randy Orton about can he be a WWE wrestler. I mean, I think he's doing it the right way alongside Jelly Roll. But I think the Travis Scotts of the world, the people who just come there, interfere in the main event, and TKO. I mean, Pat McAfee, I think he's overall done some good, but this insertion in the main event is just, unless it leads to something else, is just not what they need right now.
Yeah, I'm a huge Pat McAfee fan, period. So, like, I don't mind it, but I don't know how. There's got to be more than what this is. I don't want to be left like, okay, he doesn't make any sense for him to be on the phone. It didn't make any sense. Like, it was a straight. I'm hoping it's not a straight money pivot, TKO, get more sales, because it's an ESPN crossover. And it might be, I don't know. But, like, that would suck, in my opinion, if it wasn't led to something else. So no, I think again the WWF WWE has always had the crossover. It's just a matter of how it's been used. And I think with social media, it's there's a huge opportunity, at least even in the card market, to actually have some really cool, unique cards, have some cool crossover, pop culture type of things, and that would. And again, we're a card podcast as much as wrestling podcast. There could be some really unique. I mean, personally, for me, that I'd want to go buy. Like there's some, some other items too we could talk about at the end that like even WWE wrestlers crossing over into other things, card wise and other things are really cool and brings over lots of different things. So we'll talk some more about that in a few minutes.
Yeah, so next, I think we were starting to get into it, but let's fully dive into the impact on the card market if it's existent. So, do you think that celebrity cards, let's say when the Logan Paul, like, for example, the iShowSpeed 101, Foil Fractor, all the tops now, the Jelly Roll, the uh, even this one that I have with me, the John Cena Shohei Otani, if I can get to focus a tiny
Yeah.
bit that just came out. Do you think those cards are they right now good buys? Do you think long term are going to hold up, or do you think there's too many at one time and they're just a bit risky for the long term?
Again, I think if the 101s and maybe the fives and tens are really, if they're not super crazy, I think would be really cool good buys because it's such a broad market. The one that comes to my mind that was like a dream card for me, but I don't remember it becoming that big of a deal. Was the Leo Messi Steph Curry card? Was one of like the first ones that was like soccer, basketball, just totally like random, like together. It was really cool, but it didn't really make sense, and it was kind of like it wasn't like a Kobe soccer card crossover, or like I have the Jordan from the World Cup or something like that. Kobe was a monster soccer fan or something like that. The Tops Now thing is hard for me because I know the place in it and I buy it. I mean, we bought those. We bought some of the other ones that I think are really cool, but like I think those are going to run its course after a while versus people like True Pack Pull, people like the odds are just so bad, obviously, to get something that's of any real value versus just a cool card to have. Um, but I don't think that's where the impact's going to be. I think the impact's going to be on the, and again, I always kind of go to the higher end market, but I think Logan Paul getting his, if they, I use royalty, I don't know if it's even in there, but if he has his last year's WrestleMania patch, first one coming out, and it's his 101 patch from WrestleMania last year, and he puts $100,000, a $500,000 bounty on it for himself. I'm not saying he's going to, but like he does that, and all of a sudden now, that's going to draw a card and everything else crossover for the card market for WWE for everything. And I'm selfishly more in the card market than like WWE is just so big already. But like I think that's where on the card impact is your direct question is if a guy like Logan Paul who collects cards, who has the brand, who can get that card to become a thing. If he puts 100,000, that card sells for 100 grand. I'm just making that 50, 100, 200, 500. I don't know. And all of a sudden, the John Cena one is going to automatically be on the same level. You're like close to it. And then the Cody one's going to be real close to it. And then the Rio one's going to be 50 if that's 100. Like then you got real numbers, real cards. If that's what it takes to get people to realize, in the last year, I think there's probably been 3 six-figure wrestling cards that have sold privately that nobody knows about because a lot of people in the super high-end card market, WWE don't put it on eBay, don't put it on Golden or whatever. Like it would change the whole card market, and it would draw a lot more high net worth collectors into WWE because they see their money. We've talked about this before. Their money can go farther, and there's limited supply. There's only 3 John Cena 101 black prisms, 3 Rock 101 black prisms, 1 year of Flawless, and John Cena in this example is going to only one WrestleMania thing unless they make another one, which I hope they don't do, of him being an announcer and put it on his mic or something. I don't know, but that's to me the impact would be Logan Paul saying I am buying up high-end wrestling cards, my own and everybody else's, because he wants it, and then all of a sudden you see Shine, and then you see Mr. Wonderful and all them add in the Rock, one, like the Super Fractor Rock PSA 10 I have, or one of the Cena or the Rock, I think Raspy has that, 2022 Rock. Those become like part of the top 50 cards in the world, and, because it's the GOAT of some of the major things, then it has an impact on cards because of the celebrity thing, because it was Logan Paul who's brought it to the forefront. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, even today we got the PSA magazine in the mail. The Rock stand on the cover of it, which is just absolutely ridiculous for like wrestling cards. Someone would be like, "Why is The Rock on the cover?" They'll read it and they'll see this whole section about wrestling cards and like some of the comps, some of the cool stuff that wrestling has. I think it just draws more attention to it. That's just something I thought would relate.
Well, if you're bringing that up, I'll tell you one thing before we move on. I would say 2 years ago, even a year ago, and I haven't been paying that close attention. Soccer didn't even have comps in the price guide side of it. It might have had like a Messi rookie card, a Ronaldo rookie card, and maybe a Pele rookie card. They'd have like 3 cards that even had a comp, and the comps were not even like close to being real because all those cards are sold privately, not like at auction. It probably had now 2 pages and 500 soccer cards as in their price guide side of it. I don't think WWE, I could be wrong, I don't think WWE was even in it this year, but like I easily could see a year from now or 2 years from now 2 pages of WWE cards, all the way back from the Flair sets to the first 2006 Super Fractors that I love to the newest stuff. It'll have a big enough demand that it'll take up real estate on the PSA magazine. And I think those are good examples. I'm glad you brought that up because that was interesting. But again, if you look at the cards that were there, and I think any card is a good way to advertise the wrestling industry, but like some of the cards that were kind of being showcased, reminds me of soccer again, weren't the best cards or weren't probably the best ones to curate, but they're at least something, depending on what people are looking for, what kind of the messaging was. But again, that's just people learning and people, the more people that learn and do their due diligence on what cards are even available, it's just going to be education. I get so many people even that, because I didn't post a lot of my cards, but I posted that one Rock Super Fractor, and like, oh my God, that's amazing. And they're like, why did you say pop 1 when it was a PSA 10? I go, because it's numbered out of 25. And like, what are you talking about? It's a Super Fractor. I go, well, 06, 07, I think 08 even had the Super Fractors were numbered out of 25. Nobody grades them because you can't find them and they're impossible. But like people are like, well, it's not a 1-on-1. I'm like, well, good luck. There's 2 graded, total, and nobody really knows how scarce those really are. Good luck trying to find a box of 2006 Chrome. heritage. You know, like I've been looking for 2 years now to seal wax. Like, but people just haven't been educated on that's the first Topps chrome superfractors. You know, and that's kind of it'll come. It's just slowly taking time.
Okay, now I got some buy or sell questions, kind of a weekly segment that we've been doing. So, do you think celebrity involvement is good for the WWE long term, or do you think it's more of a short term thing? And do you think that celebrities do they need to stick with it for a good 3 to 6 months, let's say, or is it a one time appearance? What's best for the WWE?
I think it's a buy, and the reason I say it is I look at it a little differently. They've been doing it since WrestleMania 1. It's always had either musicians or this. It's just now a different type of celebrities, more influencers, and maybe 5, 10 years from now it'll be something different. AI people, I don't even know what it could be down there. But like, I think it's a buy. I think it might not be Travis Scott as doing it for a year or two as an example, but it might be I Show Speed, then it'll be Mr. Beast, and then it might be the Rizzler. I don't even know what you young kids are getting into, but like it'll be something else like to keep different demographics engaged in the product. So I think it's
Okay, and how about this next one? Do you think? Do you want me to buy or sell it?
yeah, I want you to give me your opinion.
Alright, yeah. I think celebrity involvement, I think there's a happy medium. It depends on if the person's an actual WWE fan or they just want to get their stuff sold. Like, I think Travis Scott, I mean, yeah, he's a WWE fan, but what did he add? I think he just wanted to be in the headlines. Oh, John Cena wins 17th championship with Travis Scott involvement. Like, he didn't really do anything, didn't want to help. Jelly Roll, on the other hand, he is in here on a weekly basis. He was in 4 segments. I mean, you can see that as a good thing or a bad thing, or you can see it as he's elevating all these stars because people who listen to his music will come in and see. I don't think one time he promoted his music. I think and him working in a mid-card program, having matches with Kit Wilson, The Miz, Danhausen, him working with those guys, I think it's overall not taking away from the spotlight and I think it's better for it. So I think I'm gonna buy it for long term. I think, like you said, it's always happening, but I think right now, like it depends on the wrestler. So I'm gonna buy it barely.
And the one thing I would say too is that Jelly Roll is a fan. He goes to matches just to watch, let alone be a part of it. It's a dream to be a part of it. That's totally different than using it as just a stepping stone, or something like that. So.
Yeah, I mean he's in TNA shows. I mean if he wasn't in WWE, I bet he'd go to AEW shows. Probably goes
or
to
he goes to independent shows. Who knows? I mean, like he just likes the sport.
yeah. Do you think celebrity cards, when they come, do you think they're going to hold long-term value, or do you think, like, is that I Show Speed card going to increase in value, or do you think that's the one comp, then that's the highest it will reach?
Um, I tried to buy it, so my gut was I thought it was going to increase. The problem I think is going to happen is if they overproduce it. If he gets 42 other cards, and then it's a Topps Now card, and he's in an actual real Chrome Superfractor a year or two from now, that might be that go-to card versus his first Topps Now. So I think I'm probably going to sell just general celebrities the way it's done right now on Topps Now isn't going to hold its long-term value.
Yeah, I think I'm right on you. I think like the way it's done right now, with only being Topps Now cards, I don't think they're overall going to hold long-term value just because I could see them putting celebrities like what they did with Gronk, Tyson, others in the recent set. Mayweather, yeah. What they did with him in this recent universe set, if they do that at a high enough value in like a set like Royalty, I think then those cards could hold long-term value if they're not overproduced, like you said.
If they even do it that way, and I don't know with the licensing and stuff too.
So our third one's going to be, should WWE keep celebrities only for WrestleMania season?
I actually kind of like that. If they do it in a I don't know if it's WrestleMania or maybe for some of the PLE, like two or a couple of them, I'd like that. I'd buy that, but I'd sell it if it was going to be just WrestleMania.
Okay, I could see that. I think the way they do it with WrestleMania season, I would rather than like you said, be there for like just to promote the biggest shows. But then if they're on there on a weekly basis, I think that would honestly be better. It would show how they care. But again, with their schedules, it probably doesn't work out, and they'll end up being part time. So I think the way they do it for WrestleMania season, I think they should just stick that way. And then the last one, do you think at all, is there ever a point where a celebrity should win a championship that's not a joke championship, like the 24/7 championship? That doesn't really
No,
count.
I don't think. I just think it's disrespectful to actual real wrestlers who put in the time, go through it, and do it.
I 100% agree with you. Okay, and now we're going to go to our card showcase. We already showed two previously on with the Donald Trump card, and I'll show it again, but the tops now, John Cena, Shohei Ohtani, they're both doing the You Can't See Me there. But then one,
Cool card.
yeah, it's a super cool card. I mean, the 101 auto is going to be like I'd be interested to see what that goes for, because that could
That's a
set.
six-figure card for sure. Because that Otani market is so crazy.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But then this is another cool card. It's again a baseball crossover, but this one, Cleveland born, The Miz throwing the first pitch auto.
Is that a Guards game?
Yeah, it is at a Guardians game, and then probably won't be able to focus in, but it is a super 101. I mean, that is just a.
Yeah,
Go
when I
ahead.
saw that one when we bought that, obviously we're fans of The Miz. I went to Miami of Ohio. He went to Miami of Ohio. He's just a great dude. I love his character. Just being a local Cleveland guy, and then we're obviously Cleveland through and through. Cavs, Browns, Guardians. I still say Indians sometimes, but like that's a great crossover card. And for me, we didn't talk about this much, but like WWE crossing over into Hollywood and then crossing over into sports and crossing over Logan Paul doing that flag football thing. He's technically a WWE guy now doing football, which is kind of funny to say, but that probably is going to bring a lot of more people into a Tom Brady feud, and then Tom Brady's cracking cards, obviously outside of the whole card vault thing, but like I think there's some celebrity outward versus inward too that could bring more people into the hobby, as well as going and bringing more people into WWE in general. Cool
Okay.
card though.
Yeah, so uh, what we did today was we broke down whether celebrities help or hurt WWE. Would you say they more help or hurt as we come down to our outro?
I think if done the right way, which they've done over the years, over and over and over, I think it helps. Period. I mean, they wouldn't keep doing it if they did. I just think now they just have to be very careful with how much, how they use them, where and who they use, and be a little bit more true to their true fans, and not like try and be like, they know when you're trying to shoehorn in somebody, if it's Bad Bunny or if, Travis Scott or whatever it is, there's something to it. They just ran Travis Scott a little too far, like in too much when they didn't need to. And I thought you brought up some good points at the beginning. But I think overall, you throw in Mr. Beast into WWE, you could throw in Lionel Messi, or Ronaldo as an example, being, doing something at WrestleMania. Like that's what I would say. Like if you had Ronaldo or LeBron James or somebody be a guest referee or something fun. I know they've done it with Halbert and some other things, but like that would prove and kind of achieve crossover just as much, than trying to do some of the things they're really trying to do. Not saying they can, or there's other reasons why they do or don't, but like I think I'm a huge fan, and again from sports cards, my favorite card in the world is the Michael Jordan 1993-94 World Cup card dunking a soccer ball. It's iconic. The Kobe Bryant fans of the game soccer one, or the Father's Day Kobe Bryant juggling a soccer ball. All those. There's one like Cal Ripken juggling a soccer ball. I think they're the coolest things in the world because it just shows the passion and the crossover, and there's not a million of them. So like that's why I think if they keep it somewhat specific and overall, though, I do think celebrity influence and crossover is a good thing overall.
Alrighty. Why don't you guys let us know, are celebrities good or bad for WWE? If anybody's interested in coming on the podcast as a guest, we're always looking for guests on the podcast. You can hit us up on our Instagram page. let us know what you guys thought about this episode. If you have any cards you guys want to showcase, you can always put those in. Send us to an Instagram as well. You can follow us for more blogs, podcasts, and card content. We recently opened up boxes of the John Cena commemorative collection and one box of WWE Exalted. I know 2026 Topps Chrome is coming out on Wednesday. We're looking to see if we can get any boxes of those to hopefully rip. This has been Kayfabe and Cardboard, where storylines meet scarcity. Hope you guys have a great Sunday.